You are the better man when you choose to become the better man. My name is Jose Moreno. On this podcast, we discuss current and future trends in the electrical industry. Welcome to the life of an electrical contractor. Welcome to the life of an electrical contractor. Today I want to talk about being a better man. What does that even mean? So really what I wanted to call this episode, and excuse my language, but you ever get into a discussion with somebody and it's literally a dick swinging contest? Just to try to find out, oh, look, this is how much better I am than you, or, oh, no, how much better I am from you. And the reason I'm sharing this with you is because inadvertently, we do this constantly. And we don't even realize. And then the bigger reason why I wanted to share is because what is it accomplishing? What really is it accomplishing? Now, this thing is very fresh in my mind. It's not something that happened this morning. It's not something that happened even yesterday. It's something that happened last week, right? And I saw how it was happening. You know, I saw how I was actually partaking in it, right? And then I also realized that I asked myself somewhere along that conversation, what am I trying to accomplish here? Like, really, Jose, what are you trying to accomplish here? Right? And the reason I wanted to share this with you, the reason I actually thought today would be a great show, great episode about this was because I was journaling about it today. And the reason I journaled about it today is because it's like every other question in life. If you're looking for an answer to something, you need to ask the question. And if you're going to ask the question, you need to do what? Listen to the response and then once again, keep working through it, right? It's like Google. Google has a lot of answers. But unless you type in what you're looking for, it ain't going to spit shit back at you, right? Nothing's going to come back at you. You can be like sitting in front of the computer saying, please give me something. I don't know. You got to ask me something so I can give it to you, right? So I'll run you through how this type of scenario goes, and if you're watching, and if this thing actually makes even sense to you, you're gonna laugh because it's crazy how we are part of this thing, and it's not just at work or with somebody else or somebody bigger than you or somebody smaller than you. It's sometimes at the gas station, it's at the restaurant, it's at the craziest places. Sometimes it's in your own house, and once again, what are you trying to accomplish, really? Are you just trying to show the other person that that's why I called it better man, that you're the better man? What does that even mean? Better at what? Right? Better at what? So here we go. And if the guy that's actually, let me rephrase this. So if the person that actually was part of this interaction is watching this, I want you to watch this. I want you to hear this, not as a place from like me being better than you or me being higher than you or me being lower than you, just as a means to show you that we all have an opportunity to learn in this world, and it really matters what we do every single day or every single moment. So, perfect example. I'm in business, right? And if you're watching, you're in some form of business or you work for somebody, and regardless, you're doing an interaction. We show up at a job site. There's a particular ask. We want this and this to be done this way. Okay, wonderful. I provide a different option. One that will, in my opinion, satisfy the needs while keeping the costs low, maintaining the highest standards. All of a sudden, it gets flipped. No. And it usually doesn't get flipped in a way of anger or nothing. It usually gets flipped in a very condescending way. It's almost like, oh, well, what about this? And then it's like blah, 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 blah. And then, of course, using me as the example, I hear that and it's like, oh, but wait a minute. No, but what about this? Before you know it, we are both entangled with each other. No, my way. No, my way. No, my way. No, my way. What are we accomplishing? what are we accomplishing? In my experience, in this particular experience that I'm speaking about, and it's why I call this the better man, right? Because at that moment, I realized, okay, what's happening here? Am I pushing my agenda because I believe this is the best scenario for this particular situation? Or am I pushing my agenda because I feel hurt, or because I feel like I'm stupid because somebody else has a better idea than me? Again, the reason I'm telling you this is because these things happen to us each day. And if we're not aware of this thing, if we're not actually present to this thing, we can create many fights, many conflicts in our life without even knowing it. And then, of course, what happens is then we start to run the next idea that comes after. Why does this always happen to me? Why are these people this? Or that's why there are people like that. And none of that helps you. None of that is going to help you move forward. All of that stuff just keeps you locked, keeps you in neutral. Okay. Back to the story. So I'm in this story. All right. We're discussing back and forth, and I'm seeing it was like a movie, man. It was like a movie. I literally said something about this is not a walk in the park. And the guy was like, "Oh no, I understand. It's not a walk in the park." Or actually, and then he says, he says it kind of is a walk in the park. And I was like, yeah, you're right. You know what? It kind of is a walk in the park. And then he says, yeah, this is easy. And then I was like, well, some parks are different than others. And then all of a sudden I realized, I'm like, now we're discussing parks. What the fuck was that about? Now we're arguing, or not, I was going to say arguing, but now we're posturing about parks. And now, to tell you the truth, I'm looking at from my perspective of like, dude, I grew up in the hood. My parks are probably dirty and bums live there and this and that. And now I'm looking at him telling him, oh, your parks are nicer and all this. All that crap was flowing around in my head for a couple split seconds. Now, once again, I realized this conversation was leading nowhere. I took a pause and I began to listen. Now, the reason I called it being the better man was because at that moment I realized I was trying to show him that I was better than him. When in reality, what difference does it fucking make? Dude, did I really need him to acknowledge me that I'm better than him? And I'm asking you that because how often are you probably thinking the same thing? Looking for someone out there to acknowledge you, and it's why you fight. It's why you get angry. It's why you do what you do. Now, I'm not telling you you're wrong. Because listen, I did that. I was that. I still do that. I'm telling you about my own experience. I'm not telling you like I read it in a book or I saw somebody else. No, me, I'm telling you. I did it. But I also, the reason I'm sharing this with you is because I also realized what was happening and how the more, if I did nothing, it was just going to continue. Was I going to get the result I wanted? Probably not. So I just simply decided to stop. I decided to just simply listen to the man. I took the notes. And we went about our way. As I began to reflect on that conversation, I started to take notes of what I did, why I did it, why I felt I did it, I should say, right? And then I began to realize, again, like I was saying before, I wanted him to acknowledge me. I wanted him to know that I have a lot of brains and all this. And you know what? I have a lot of experience in this. This is why you're hiring me and all that other stuff, right? This is why you called me, right? And as I started writing these things, right, I realized I'm like, I don't need him to tell me that. If he can't see that, if he can't understand that, if he cannot accept that, then maybe we're not, hey, not everyone needs to work together. Not every job we need to do and you need to do, right? There's a lot of people in this world, right? There's a lot of people in this world, and there is a job, a project for everyone. Just like there's you know how they say there's a special man out there for you and there's a special woman out there for you? Well, listen, there's a project out there for you. Not every job's for you. But the part that I wanted to really get across to you, and it's really, honestly, it's a short message. It's simply pay attention to what you're doing. And you're like, Jose, dude, you pay attention to what you're doing. Yeah, pay attention to what you're doing. You know why you got to pay attention to what you're doing? Because half the time, you don't realize it. You don't realize you're running this program of trying to flex, of trying to like tell them that why you're better than them, show them why, not even show them, telling them why you're better. Forget about showing. That's actually the opposite of it, right? Instead of telling them, show them, right? But we tend to just want to tell. I'm going to tell you, I'm going to tell you, I'm going to tell you. Listen, if the person can't see it, if the person is not willing to accept this and willing to be a part of this, then it's okay. It's all right. Remember, this journey is not so much about the other person. It's about you. Just like this journey is about me, the journey that's yours is about you. And you have to be willing to be active, both in physical and in mental form, realizing that there's things where perhaps you did something that didn't work, and then there's other times that you did something that did work. And then guess what? Magic. Oh, maybe I do more of the things that work and less of the things that don't work. That's it. That's the secret sauce. There you go. That's the better man. Anyways, guys, I thought this would be a freaking awesome message to share. Because we tend to think of this concept of better man as something that is unreachable. It's not me. Well, I haven't done this and I haven't achieved this, so how am I going to be the better man? But bro, what I'm trying to tell you is that you are the better man when you choose to become the better man. Enjoy your day. If any of this message you find just that it hits you, that you resonate with it, and then you know somebody that perhaps wants to hear something just like this or that needs to hear something like this, share this with them. Subscribe and catch you on the next one.